I'm 88 years old, and most mornings now are quiet in a way I never expected. Not peaceful, just quiet. The kind that makes you aware of every sound your body makes when you stand up, every empty chair in the room. I've been thinking a lot about how I got here, not just to this age, but to this feeling. And the truth is simple. Even if it took me almost 9 decades to see it, I spent my life trying not to feel pain. And in doing that, I avoided living a real one. I'm not telling this because I want sympathy. I don't need comfort. I tell it because I don't have much time left, and there's no reason to keep pretending I understand my life any differently than I do now. When you get this old, the stories you tell yourself run out. What's left is what actually happened. These days, my world is small, a few rooms, a window I sit near in the afternoon. The same walk to the kitchen, the same cup I use for coffee. I've outlived most of the people who knew me when I was young. There's no one left to argue with my memories, so I have to be honest with them. For a long time, I thought I had done everything right. I didn't take risks. I didn't make scenes. I didn't fall too hard for anything that could leave me broken. I thought that was wisdom. I thought that was maturity. I thought pain was something smart people learn to avoid early. I was wrong. When I was young, pain scared me more than failure. Failure felt temporary. Pain felt permanent. I grew up watching people fall apart after losses they didn't see coming. I remember thinking that I never wanted to be like that. I wanted to stay intact. So I built a life that looked solid from the outside. A steady job, a predictable routine, polite relationships. I was dependable. People trusted me. No one ever called me reckless. I wore that quietly, like proof that I was doing something right. In my 20s, when others were taking chances, I chose safety. When friends moved away for uncertain opportunities, I stayed. When someone I loved wanted more from me than I knew how to give, I stepped back before things became complicated. I told myself leaving early was kinder than staying long enough to cause pain. At the time, it all made sense. I wasn't running. I was being practical. I married later than most. The woman I married was steady, like me. We didn't argue much. We didn't talk deeply either. We avoided uncomfortable subjects and called it peace. When something felt wrong, we let it sit. When resentment appeared, we ignored it. Change felt dangerous. People said we were a good couple, and maybe we were, by a certain definition. But we were never close in the way I now understand closeness. I worked hard, not because I loved my work, but because it gave me structure. It kept me busy. And being busy meant I didn't have to ask myself difficult questions. I missed things without noticing. I came home late. I skipped gatherings. I delayed conversations. I assumed there would always be more time. Friends drifted away, not because of arguments, just because I didn't reach out. Years passed quietly. My marriage ended the same way it existed. No shouting, no drama, just two people realizing they had never truly known each other. When she left, I felt relief more than sadness. I told myself that proved I had been right, to keep things contained. I didn't realize then that grief sometimes waits. As the years passed, the distractions disappeared. Work ended. My health slowed me down. There was nothing left to hide behind. That's when the feelings I avoided my entire life finally arrived. Regret doesn't come sharply. It settles slowly. It's the understanding that you can't return to moments because you didn't recognize them when they were happening. I thought about all the times I chose comfort over honesty, all the risks I avoided, all the feelings I kept contained. Pain avoided doesn't disappear. It waits. The hardest truth is this: the life I protected so carefully became smaller than it needed to be. I didn't lose everything. I have memories. I have gratitude. But there's a hollowness that comes from knowing how much I never let in. There are people I loved, but never told. Chances I dismissed before they could disappoint me. A version of myself I never allowed to exist. At 88, there's no fixing that. Some things don't reopen just because you finally understand them. I don't blame myself anymore. I did what I thought would keep me safe. I just didn't know I was surviving instead of living. If you're younger and listening, I don't have advice. I only have truth. The moments you avoid because they frighten you may be the ones you miss most later. What remains for me now is acceptance, not peace, just honesty. I sit with my memories, even the painful ones. They remind me that I was here. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm no longer afraid of pain. The end feels honest. If this meant something to you, sit with it for a moment, not to fix anything, just to notice it. That's all I have left to offer.